Welcome back to episode 10 of the Selling Leonardo podcast series. Here we are exploring the controversial Salvator Mundi painting that was wrongfully attributed to Leonardo da Vinci. If you have missed any of the previous episodes from this series, please make sure to go back and check those ones out too. We have covered many aspects to this painting, such as where it came from and how it was restored. In this episode, we are going to go over how this contested painting was sold and ended up becoming the world's most expensive painting. If you are wanting to take a deeper dive into this topic, pick up a copy of my book, Selling Leonardo, the Art World's Greatest Scandal. While this may be the last episode in this particular series, it will not be the last episode for this channel. There is still so much more to cover, not only about the Salvator Mundi, but also art and writing in general. So make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all future episodes. And with that being said, let's get started. So now the Salvator Mundi needs to be sold. It was bought by Alexander Parrish and Robert Simon from a small auction house in Louisiana. After the purchase, they took it to the legendary art restorer Diane Modestini because the painting was originally in terrible shape and had many layers of overpainting on it. Once the panel was fixed and the overpainting was scraped off, Parrish, Simon, and Modestini were left with a pressing question. Do they try to sell the painting as is? Or do they let Modestini begin painting to fill in the gaps? I understand the desire to fill in the gaps to complete the picture. However, we must remember that the three of them believed this to be an authentic Leonardo da Vinci. Wouldn't they at least want to wait and have this be examined by several scholars and worthy institutions? But the three of them decided to carry on with adding in new paint to create a completed picture. One of the world's foremost Da Vinci scholars, Dr. Frank Zollner, even said that Modestini made this Salvator Mundi look much more like a true Leonardo than what the original painting looked like. From there, a rather quick series of events would happen. 5 leading Leonardo da Vinci experts would be brought inside a room to privately view the Salvator Mundi. No consensus was reached. All 5 of them walked away without even telling one another what they thought of the painting. And on top of all of this, later on, only 2 of the 5 would say that Da Vinci is the hand behind the painting. A far cry from a stable, trustworthy conclusion. The painting was also shown in private museum viewings and also had a grand public appearance at the National Gallery in London. Despite there not being a consensus, the museum went forward in saying that the Salvator Mundi was painted in its entirety by Da Vinci, which, even if someone for whatever reason thinks that he did paint it, at the time of it showing in the National Gallery, there was not enough evidence or a consensus to come close to suggesting its authenticity. Another important feature to point out is that this painting was to be sold. Museums should not be displaying works that are slated to go to the auction house in the near future. Nevertheless, they did show the painting, and it was one of their most popular showings of all time. I wanted to take a quick break in this episode to say that if you are wanting to learn more about the Salvator Mundi painting and my involvement with it, pick up a copy of my book, Selling Leonardo, the Art World's Greatest Scandal. My memoir not only covers way more ground than what is talked about on here, but it also tells the story of how I became an official art copyist for the Louvre, and how that experience led me to the people involved with this controversial painting. I promise that this true story will not disappoint. Now let's get back to the episode. Parrish and Simon eventually found a buyer for the Salvator Mundi. His name is Yves Bouvier. Now, Bouvier has gotten into some legal trouble over the years, mainly surrounding selling works of art at a hidden markup. I, of course, will not be making any type of opinion on the legality of this. I am simply here to talk about the Salvator Mundi. But Bouvier did not buy this painting for himself. He instead bought it on behalf of the Russian oligarch Dmitry Rybolovlev. Bouvier had bought many artworks for him and was to charge him a certain percentage for a buyer's fee, which is standard practice. However, Bouvier was charging Rybolovlev far more than just the buyer's fee. Once this was discovered, a series of ongoing legal battles began for Bouvier, and Rybolovlev was stuck with a bunch of paintings that he overpaid for, including the Salvator Mundi. So the Russian oligarch would bring it to auction in the hopes of at least making his money back. The reality is that Dmitry Rybolovlev would make way more than just getting his money back. Bouvier bought the painting from Parrish and Simon for about $80 million. Then he sold it to Rybolovlev for $127.5 million, way higher than the agreed upon buyer's fee. And then after a very successful marketing campaign by Christie's auction house, it sold for a record $450.3 million, making the Salvator Mundi the most expensive painting ever sold by a landslide. The buyer and current owner of the Salvator Mundi is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS for short. After the purchase of this painting, it seemingly disappeared. No one knew where it was. Originally, it was slated to make an appearance at the Louvre Museum for their exhibition on Leonardo da Vinci, but it never made its way to Paris. It was also thought that it would show at the Louvre Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, but it never appeared there either. There was rumors circulating that the Salvator Mundi was being kept on MBS's yacht. But the most recent report is that the Salvator Mundi painting is currently in Saudi Arabia, while a museum is being built specifically to house the painting. We don't know when this painting will make its grand reappearance again, but what we do know is that this painting is no Leonardo. And so this brings us to the end of the Selling Leonardo podcast series. We have covered a lot of ground, and I hope that you enjoyed listening. Remember, this is only the end of this series, but not the end of this channel. I will continue to cover the Salvator Mundi, but will also cover the arts in general, as well as writing. If you are wanting to learn more about this, pick up a copy of my book, Selling Leonardo, the Art World's Greatest Scandal. And As always, feel free to send me a message letting me know your thoughts. And make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all future episodes. Until next time.